Hey, great day. Always good to get inside of the stadium here, and first of all, it looks great. But big day for our players and our staff. Great day too. We had a bunch of families that were here to share in the scrimmage, and got an opportunity to spend some time with the kids here this afternoon too before we come back in the building this evening. Excited about them, getting a chance for myself and our staff to see them as well. So I thought there were a bunch of positives today in the scrimmage. I thought played cleaner, both sides of the football, executed. Thought just, alignment, assignment, eyes on keys, being lined up, ready to go on the defensive side of the football, tackling in space. Thought we did a much better job in those areas than we did in the first scrimmage, and offensively at times were efficient and played with great pace and handled the communication side of it at a really high level too. So a bunch of positives. I know there'll be a bunch of things that we need to clean up too as we go back and watch the tape this afternoon.
Questions? We'll start with Jim.
Josh, a couple things. How do you see the left tackle battle going right now?
Yeah, it's been back and forth a little bit through training camp. You guys have heard me say this. At the end of the day, we're going to need both of them, all of them. It just, you experienced last year injuries, and that's true at the tackle spot. It's true on all 5 spots. Those guys are continuing to compete. That's not going to stop after today. That will happen all the way up until kickoff. Anticipate both of them playing during the course of the football game throughout the season, and certainly in week 1. Who gets a majority of that or what the percentage breakdown is, we'll continue to evaluate as we go through. Both of them have made a bunch of progress from spring ball and really since the beginning of training camp in understanding what we're doing offensively. In the run game, playing with better pad level, being able to create some movement up front. Both of them take major strides in the pass pro side of it too. So, I feel like those guys are continuing to progress as they should.
Are they playing well enough to where you think Darnell Wright will stay at right tackle?
Yeah, at this point, we plan to keep Darnell at the right side.
Adam?
Yeah, at running back, assuming Jalen is ready to go when the season gets here healthy, would you go 3 deep? Would you go 4 deep? You've got 2 freshmen there that I'm sure both played well. How deep would you go at running back?
There were times we had to play 5 last year, right? So everybody's got to be ready to play. As we continue here on the back half of training camp and even before we get to game week and game week itself, those guys proving that we can trust them. And that's certainly with the ball in their hands, taking care of the football. It's in understanding what we're doing offensively and delivering blocks and hitting the right holes. A big part of it is understanding pass pro too. The 2 young guys in particular, I think, have grown throughout the course of training camp. Where their eyes are at and understanding protections and being able to handle the football game as it truly gets played out in a live situation. But we're going to need a bunch of guys at that position. It's just the nature of football. It's the nature of that position. It's the nature of playing inside of this league, an extremely physical league.
Rob, then Ben.
Coach, you talk about trust for the running backs. When you talk about depth at wide receiver, you have a handle on how many of those guys you trust in a game yet?
Not yet. I thought there were some real positive things today. Brew McCoy did some really good things out there inside of the stadium. I thought he handled and operated really well. Was physical with the ball in his hands. Jimmy Holiday made some plays today, some competitive catches, and then run after the catch. Walker Merrill's a guy that's had a really good training camp, much better football player and understanding of what we're doing, from where we ended spring ball. I think he's made strides, and he's done that offensively. He's done it on the special teams side of it too. So there's still a ton of competition. We've had a couple guys that, have missed a day or 2 here and there through training camp. This next block will be important to see those guys function and operate and handle the totality of what we're doing offensively and ultimately prove that they deserve to be on the football field and play. It's a Jimmy Callaway, it's Squirrel, in particular those 2 guys.
Josh, the growth of Joe Milton over the offseason, how have you seen that translate to fall camp, and what have you thought of his first 2 scrimmages?
Thought just, through practices, he's been a better decision maker, better command of what we're doing offensively, strides that you would hope and think he needs to take and is capable of. He's taking better care of the football. A lot of things that we've asked from him, just, growing up and becoming the mature person and player that we need inside of that room and in that position inside of this program, he's taken some of those strides. There's a bunch left out there for him. You guys know he has his arm talent to make some really special throws. But I think in the 2 scrimmages, he's had really good command and presence in what we've done.
Brent and Wes.
Yeah, Josh, not just today, I know you haven't seen the tape, but what's your assessment of your linebacker group and how much Juwan Mitchell's grown from where he was and Jeremy and that group? And then secondly, do you have an update on Brew McCoy and are you starting to get antsy with that one with the window there?
Don't have an update on Brew. The linebacker position, we are deeper because of young guys that we've added inside of our program and the health of Juwan and the continued development of the guys that were playing last year makes that unit a deeper unit. In year 2, like a lot of our positions, I do think they have a better understanding of what we're doing defensively. We've been better in our gap fits here, the last 4-day block. In particular, I thought the 1 defense today, for the most part, did a really good job. I think they've tackled well. That second level has tackled well here as of late. Juwan being back adds experience, adds playmaking ability. Jeremy's continued to grow. We've talked about that. Beasley and Page, those guys have taken major strides in the offseason too, and they've shown that through a majority of training camp.
Josh, a couple things. I wondered if you had an update on Kamal Haddon's status, when you think he might be able to get back, and also just the cornerback situation in general with all those guys kind of getting back except for Haddon. How's that competition going, and what's the comfort level there?
Yeah, I want to see the tape today for me to make a comment on, how they played today. Overall, I think, they've done a better job of, the 50-50 balls down the football field, being calm, not panicking, playing the football and the wide receiver. They've done a good job in their fits and some of our pressures and things that we've done. Kamal, I anticipate being able to get some reps here over the next 4-day block. It'll be good to see him back on the field for us. He's handled himself in a really mature way while he's been nicked up and hasn't been able to be out on the field. Been purposeful in the way he's approached meetings, practice. Essentially has a plan of coaching guys up during the course of the practice. So I think his engagement has allowed him to continue to grow. Obviously, you want those real reps and anticipate being able to get those this next block with him. Warren Burrell's had a really steady, good camp. Rucker coming back healthy. I feel like he's playing his best football right now as well. There's a ton of competition right there at that position, and that's some young guys that have gotten here, guys that have been around this program for a couple years too. So excited to see that continue to play out, and obviously I want to see the tape today from those guys too.
Austin and Aaron.
2 things. So we talked to Jalen Hyatt and Walker Merrill the other day, and Jalen specifically talked about all the praise and the preseason's great, but you got to prove it on the field. Then Walker talked about I'm just tired of not playing. I want to he's motivated to get on the field. When you hear that kind of competitiveness and mentality, what's that mean to you as a coach, and what do you like about that type of mindset? Yeah,
that's the truth, though, right? Jalen's comment about and preseason stuff doesn't matter, whether that's rankings or praise of players, whatever. At the end of the day, we all got to go prove it, and game day's approaching for us. So I like the mentality that he's going to be purposeful in the way he approaches it, and our team will be too. I really believe that. For Walker, those are 2 great examples of guys that, since we've gotten back from bowl game, and really even before that, just like this is where I'm at. this is where I got to get to, having a plan of how I'm going to do that every single day. Those guys are pros in the way that they've approached every day in the building, man. They're competitive. They understand the plan. They have a personal plan of how they want to continue to grow. They're extra every single day. It showed up in the competitiveness in which they've played, and that's with the ball in their hands. It's in one-on-ones. It's with the ball not in their hands, and the way that they're blocking out on the perimeter. One of the things today offensively I thought was just, our perimeter screen game, which is really an extension of the run game. The effectiveness, efficiency of that was really good to see. Those two guys had a big part in it today.
Secondly, you're kind of right there in the, a little bit past the midpoint of fall camp where guys can hit a wall and you got to push through and those type of things. Do you and the staff try to do anything to, change? I saw you do the punt thing with Elijah. Do you do anything to kind of change it up to let them have a little bit of fun to where they, can kind of push through that stuff?
Yeah, we try to do something fun every single day when we're out on the field. I think creating competitive situations is extremely important in that. It raises the level of urgency and focus out on the practice field. So we pick different situations every single day. Our team meeting has structure to it, but there's things that are different every day. And last night, we've been in a pretty good routine here of what we're doing every day. Felt like giving them a little bit of a mental break potentially if they were able to catch the football. Elijah's the hero, as you guys could all see. But doing something fun to keep guys engaged. That's true during training camp. I think it's true during the season too. So you guys know around here we try to compete really hard, but we have a heck of a lot of fun doing it too. And last night's a great example of it. Today being different, being in the stadium for the scrimmage, families being there, the afternoon's going to play out differently for them too. And so we try to keep them fresh, physically ready to compete while straining them, making sure that we're playing ourselves into the shape that we need to be ready to go play. But you can do all those things and have a heck of a lot of fun doing it.
Eric, and then to the back.
I know you'll need to go back and check the tape, but kind of initial thoughts, line play today, both offensively, defensively. How would you kind of assess that today?
And there's so many different groups. I thought we fit things, front seven, safety fits too, and the run game with the one defense better than we did in the first scrimmage. So that's one takeaway. I think in some of the situational football, the one offensive line did a really good job of creating movement. Third and shorts, goal line situations. There were some real positive things there too. Going to have to go back. There were a few sacks early in the scrimmage for the ones that go back and look at and just make sure we're all not just losing a battle, right, which is going to happen, but our communication is right too. So there's going to be a bunch of things to learn from. Overall, really excited about energy, effort, attention to detail once the whistle blows, getting their eyes back, getting lined up, and getting cleats in the ground, eyes in the right place, ready to go play.
Coach, what's changed about the way you evaluate these scrimmages or things you pay attention to compared to last year?
A year ago, just so different. It's the first time that we've gone through any of it together, right, as an entire program, staff and players. And you don't take anything for granted in year two, but there's an understanding of the expectations and how we're going to play. Defensively in particular, but both sides of football, much deeper in who we are. And just the number of players that we have inside of our program, right? And you guys have heard me talk about that before. How you evaluate it, man, I don't know that changes a whole lot, right? Every position coach is going to watch every player, every single play, right? Alignment, assignment, technique, effort, strain, play to the whistle. Those are the things, man. We want to play harder for longer inside of our program, and then we got to protect the ball when you got it and go get it defensively. Offensively, the last 4-day block, they've done a great job of taking care of the football. We got to create more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. But how we grade it, it doesn't change. The expectations, standards inside of our room, they haven't changed inside of this building. Now, the perception of us outside the building has changed, but what we believe we have the opportunity to do. Because of the work that we put into it, there's great confidence inside this building.
We'll finish with Jim.
Could you update us on Elijah Simmons, his situation?
Yeah, I think he'll have an opportunity to participate here this next 4-day block. Just kind of a freak deal, and don't think it's a long-term injury for him that will inhibit him anyway as we get to the season, but we got to get him back fully ready to go.
How much does that set him back, do you think?
We'll see when we get back. He's been in great spirits. He said he's feeling really good. We'll figure out here as we get back on the grass here in a couple days.